My dear friends, let me ask you a simple but uncomfortable question. If someone shows you your life in December 2026, your health, your relationships, your bank balance, your inner peace, would you smile or would you look away? Because whether we accept it or not, December does not surprise us. It simply reveals what we have been practicing since January. People say, life changed suddenly. No, life never changes suddenly. Life changes silently, daily, invisibly, and then loudly. My dear friends, let me begin with a simple thought. Most people believe that life suddenly changes in December. They say, this year went bad, or this year was amazing. But life does not work on a calendar the way we think it does. December is not magic. December is not dramatic. December is only honest. It quietly shows us the result of what we have been doing since January. If you look closely, your future is not hidden. It is visible in your daily routine. The way you start your morning, the way you treat your body, the way you speak to people, the way you handle your phone, your time, and your thoughts, all these small things are writing your story line by line. We want big success, deep peace, strong relationships, but we avoid small discipline. And then we wonder why the ending feels disappointing. Many people wait for motivation. They say, when I feel inspired, I will change. But inspiration is like weather. It comes and goes. Discipline is like direction. It stays. The people who look peaceful at the end of the year are not lucky. They are consistent. They showed up even on days when they did not feel like it. They chose what was right over what was easy. Think about it. You don't suddenly become unhealthy in December. You slowly ignore your body throughout the year. You don't suddenly lose inner peace. You slowly replace silence with noise, reflection with distraction, gratitude with complaint. Life never shocks us. It only reflects us. There is a beautiful but uncomfortable truth. Your habits are voting every day for the kind of person you will become. One vote may not look powerful, but together they decide the result. Skipping effort today feels harmless, but repeated comfort becomes tomorrow's regret. Small daily excuses feel sweet now, but they become bitter later. Growth always begins with discomfort. Waking up early feels painful. Saying no to distractions feels lonely. Being disciplined feels boring. But regret is far more painful, far more lonely, and far more boring. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. So instead of asking life for a better future, ask yourself for better daily choices. Ask yourself, what am I practicing every day? Because you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. What you repeatedly do becomes who you eventually are. If you want December to feel peaceful, January must be purposeful. If you want clarity later, you must choose discipline now. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just sincerely. Start small, start quietly, start today. Because the future is not something you enter one day. The future is something you create one ordinary day at a time. My dear friends, many of us look at the future with hope, fear, or confusion. But very few of us look at the present with honesty. We dream about how we want our life to look at the end of the year, yet we avoid looking at how we are living today. The truth is simple but powerful. The future is not created by wishes, it is created by patterns. What you repeatedly do in ordinary moments quietly shapes extraordinary outcomes. We often underestimate the power of beginnings. January feels slow, silent, almost invisible. There is no applause for waking up early. No celebration for choosing discipline over comfort. No appreciation for saying no to distractions. And because no one is watching, we think it doesn't matter. But life is always watching. Time is always recording. Every small choice is being added to a file that will be opened later. People ask, why does life feel heavy? Many times, it is not life that is heavy, it is the habits we are carrying. We carry procrastination, comparison, negativity, and then we expect peace. We carry laziness, inconsistency, excuses, and then we expect success. Life simply returns what we repeatedly give to it. There is a big misunderstanding about change. We think change must be dramatic. A big decision, a strong emotional moment. But real change is usually quiet. It happens when you choose effort even when you feel tired. When you choose patience even when you feel irritated. When you choose values even when shortcuts look tempting. These moments don't feel heroic, but they are life-defining. Comfort is very attractive. It speaks softly and promises relief. Discipline is not so attractive. It speaks firmly and promises growth. Comfort asks, what feels good right now? Discipline asks, what will feel right later? One gives pleasure today and pain tomorrow. The other gives pain today and peace tomorrow. Life always charges interest either way. Look at people you admire. Their success is not accidental. Their calmness is not fake. Their confidence is not overnight. It is the result of showing up consistently, even when results were invisible. They respected their time, their energy, and their responsibilities. They understood that motivation fades, but commitment builds. If you want a better ending, don't argue with life. Cooperate with it. Align your actions with your intentions. Your goals don't need more promises, they need more practice. Your future self doesn't need your guilt, it needs your discipline. Ask yourself honestly, if you continue living exactly the way you are living today, where will you land at the end of the year? This question is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Start where you are. Improve one habit, fix one routine, remove one distraction, add one discipline. Do it daily, quietly, patiently. Over time, life will respond. Remember this, the future is not waiting to surprise you. It is slowly being prepared by you. Choose wisely, because one day you will meet the results of today's choices face to face. My dear friends, we often look at the end of the year and ask, what did life give me? But a better question would be, what did I give life every day? Because life is not a one-time event, it is a daily exchange. What you invest in small moments comes back to you in big ways. The future does not arrive suddenly, it grows slowly, quietly, through habits we repeat without much thought. Most people want results, but very few people fall in love with the process. We admire success, but we avoid discipline. We want peace, but we fill our days with noise. We want growth, but we resist discomfort. Then we wonder why the year ends with the same stories, the same regrets, and the same excuses. The truth is, repetition creates reality. There is something powerful about the beginning of a journey. In the early days, no one claps, no one notices, no one comments. That is where character is built. When effort is private and results are invisible, commitment becomes real. Anyone can work hard when appreciation is guaranteed. Very few can stay consistent when only conscience is watching. We often blame circumstances, people, or luck. But life is fair in a very strict way. It rewards responsibility and exposes negligence. If you keep planting the same seeds, you cannot complain about the harvest. If you keep choosing comfort, don't be surprised by stagnation. Growth always demands a price, and that price is paid in advance. Discipline is not about controlling life, it is about controlling yourself. It is choosing long-term peace over short-term pleasure. It is saying no today so that tomorrow can say yes to you. This choice is not easy, but it is simple. The mind looks for excuses. The heart looks for meaning. The wise listen to values. Many people wait for the perfect time to start, but the perfect time is a myth. There will always be fear, fatigue, and distractions. Waiting does not remove difficulty, it only delays progress. Starting, even imperfectly, builds momentum, and momentum changes everything. If you want a meaningful ending, respect the ordinary days. How you speak when you are tired, how you act when no one is watching, how you choose when temptation appears. These moments don't feel important, but they are the building blocks of your destiny. One day, you will look back and realize that life did not change because of one big decision, but because of hundreds of small ones. The days you chose effort over excuses, the moments you chose values over convenience, the times you kept going even when you felt unseen. So be patient with yourself, but be honest too. Life listens carefully to what you do, not to what you say. If you want a different future, live differently today. Not loudly, not dramatically, just consistently. Because in the end, your life will always become a reflection of your daily choices. My dear friends, life has a very gentle way of teaching us powerful lessons. It does not shout. It does not warn us loudly. It simply allows us to continue, and then one day it shows us the result. Many people are shocked by where they end up, not because life was unfair, but because they were unaware. Awareness is the beginning of wisdom, and without it, we live on autopilot. repeating patterns and expecting different outcomes. We often believe that big change requires big effort, but that belief stops us from starting. The mind says, do it perfectly or don't do it at all. Life does not ask for perfection, it asks for sincerity. Even small effort, when repeated daily, has a compounding effect. Just like neglect also compounds. You don't feel the damage immediately, but over time it becomes visible and heavy. Think about how habits work. No habit enters our life dramatically. It enters quietly. A small compromise today, a small excuse tomorrow, and slowly it becomes normal. What we normalize becomes our lifestyle, and our lifestyle decides our future. That is why it is so important to be conscious of what we allow repeatedly. There is a difference between being busy and being productive. Many people stay busy all year and still feel empty at the end. Business without direction leads to exhaustion. Productivity with purpose leads to fulfillment. It is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters consistently. Discipline often feels restrictive in the beginning. It feels like we are losing freedom. But in reality, discipline creates freedom. When you manage your time, your energy, and your priorities, life feels lighter. When you don't, life starts managing you, and that feels heavy. Responsibility gives power, avoidance takes it away. We also need to understand that emotions are temporary. Decisions should not be made solely based on feelings. If we wait to feel good before doing what is right, we will wait forever. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you act according to values, feelings slowly follow. At the end of the year, many people feel regret not because they failed, but because they did not try sincerely. Regret often comes from ignored potential. The pain of knowing you could have done better hurts more than the pain of effort ever will. Life respects consistency. Even if progress is slow, it is still progress. One step daily is far better than waiting for a perfect leap. Over time, those small steps build confidence, strength, and clarity. So instead of hoping for a better future, start creating one through better daily habits. Be mindful of what you repeat. Be patient with your growth. And be firm with your discipline. Because life does not change overnight, but it does change permanently when we do the right things consistently. And when you finally look back, you will realize that the ordinary days were quietly shaping an extraordinary outcome. My dear friends, many times we are so focused on reaching somewhere in life that we forget to notice how we are traveling. We want to arrive at a peaceful, successful, and meaningful destination, but we rush through the journey without awareness. Life, however, values the journey far more than the destination because the journey shapes who we become. Where you reach at the end of the year is simply a reflection of how you lived each ordinary day. We often believe that time will change things. We say, give it some time, things will get better. But time itself does nothing. It only magnifies what we consistently do. If your actions are aligned, time becomes your greatest ally. If your actions are careless, time becomes a silent witness to missed opportunities. The future is not waiting for the calendar to change, it is responding to your daily behavior. One of the biggest challenges today is distraction. Our attention is constantly pulled in many directions, leaving us mentally tired and emotionally empty. When attention is scattered, energy is wasted. And when energy is wasted, potential remains unused. Protecting your attention is not selfish, it is necessary. What you give your attention to eventually shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your life. There is also a deep misunderstanding about happiness. Many think happiness will come after success, after money, after recognition. But happiness actually comes from alignment. When your actions match your values, peace follows naturally. When they don't, no amount of achievement can compensate for the inner conflict. Discipline is often misunderstood as punishment. In reality, discipline is self-respect. It is telling yourself, my future matters. It is choosing structure so that chaos does not take over. When discipline becomes part of life, confidence grows quietly because you begin to trust yourself. Mistakes will happen. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns. Growth is not about never failing. It is about not giving up. Self-compassion keeps you moving forward, while self-honesty keeps you on the right path. Balance between the two is essential. At the end of the year, Life will not ask how many plans you made. It will show you what you practiced. It will show you where your time went, where your energy flowed, and what you truly valued. This reflection is not meant to judge you, but to teach you. So choose your habits carefully. Choose your routines consciously. Choose your responses wisely. Small daily improvements may feel insignificant, but over time they transform everything. Life rewards sincerity, patience, and consistency. Remember, the future is not something that suddenly arrives. It is something you slowly build with everyday choices. Live those choices with awareness, and one day you will look back and realize that the life you wished for was being created quietly, one day at a time. So remember this: when December 2026 arrives, don't ask, "Why did life turn out this way?" Instead, ask January 2026, because that's where the story was written. Start today, start small, start sincerely. Because the future is not waiting for you, it is watching you. Thank you.